Hi, I'm Rod Hannafy, and on behalf of the Australian Trucking Association, I'd like to thank Proton and Safe Drive Training for giving us this opportunity to show young people the differences between driving a heavy vehicle and a car. Young drivers get a licence at 17 and have it till they're 70, and unless they have a father who's a driver or get a chance to ride in a truck, they don't see the differences, and to have an accident with one is not a very good way to learn. Thanks must go to Nolan's Transport for supplying this vehicle, and with it here we've been able to show you the differences between the size of a car and a truck. From there we're going on to 10 tips which were supplied by professional drivers in response to a survey, and we're hopeful that these will help you on the road. A truck requires a larger braking distance than a car, so don't jump in front of a truck at lights or on the highway. On the highway, you may cause an accident further back behind the truck. A loaded B-double can weigh 40 times that of the average sedan. And with traffic lights, if the truck can still be moving when the lights change, there's less delay for all traffic. The Do Not Overtake turning vehicle sign fitted to the rear of the truck allows it to legally turn from the second or even the third lane if required to safely get round a corner. Should you come up beside the vehicle, you could be in a blind spot to the left and rear of the cab. And remember, if you can't see the truck driver, he can't see you. If being overtaken by a truck, please monitor your speed. Many drivers either inadvertently or deliberately speed up when the truck goes to overtake, and should you do that, the more distance required, the less safety there is. Truck drivers have very little trouble with people travelling at the posted speed limit or below, but obviously we need to be at the speed limit at the bottom of a hill to try and delay traffic as little as possible. And on the highway, all we ask is that should a truck go to overtake you, make sure you don't accelerate, give him a fair go, and if you need to, by all means slow down, and it'll be safer for both. Speed limiting involves electronic control of the truck's speed. The truck will not exceed 100 kilometres an hour under engine power, but of course gravity will allow it to exceed that speed downhill. So with trucks we cannot accelerate quicker than cars, and when you have a truck behind you, the speed limiting can allow them to maintain a perfect 100. So you may think the truck's catching up behind you, but he's just maintaining that 100 kilometres per hour. This is about road courtesy. Your licence is a privilege and not a right, and your attitude to other drivers and their behaviour on the road will decide whether you have a life of getting home safely to your family or getting all upset and aggressive. Surely that when you're on the road, consider other drivers, and to me, a wave of thanks is better than a waved fist and heading to possible road rage. Road positioning. As a professional driver, I'm amazed how many vehicles travel so close to the white centre line. The truck uses a lot more of its lane space, where cars can allow more space against oncoming traffic and give themselves a safety margin. Also, if you are pulled up on the side of the road, please park well clear of the fog line, that unbroken line on the left-hand side of the road. People see it as a 6-foot wide brick wall, and it's not. So if you break down or if pulled up by the police, park well clear, because the police park proud of the vehicle they have stopped, allowing a safety corridor for the police officer. So if you're on the side of the road at night, dip your lights, park well clear, and add safety to where you've parked on the side of the road. On narrow country roads, where the bitumen isn't really wide enough for two vehicles, consider putting your left-hand wheel off onto the dirt. If at the last minute you force the truck off, it could have up to 20 tyres throwing rocks at you. And on very narrow outback roads, where you come across large trucks, be prepared to move right off the road. If you move off, the truck can pull you back out of the mud. But if the truck moves off and gets bogged, it could be there for days. Headlight glare can contribute to nighttime driving fatigue. When you see the lights of an approaching vehicle dip, or if you see them flashed when approaching a crest or curve, consider that if you don't dip your lights until you see that vehicle, you are momentarily blinding the other driver. With a truck, when you come up behind the truck, dip early rather than late, because the truck's mirrors can be up to 15 times the size of the mirrors in your car, and we do not have an anti-glare position. A lot of young drivers now turn fog lights on and run with them on all the time. It is illegal to use fog lights in other than fog conditions, and they can be more of a hazard. The same with rear fog lights. In rainy weather, they can make sure that you don't see whether the brake lights are being used. When you're out in the country, keep an eye on your lights, make sure they're clean and you carry spare bulbs. Unsafe overtaking is something that truckies see a lot of. People often get impatient behind the truck and tend to try and take a large risk for a very small gain. On the highway, we'd like you to pass quickly but safely. Don't pull back in front of the truck until you see both headlights. This then allows a safe margin between you and the vehicle. Maintain your speed, don't slow down, and the last thing, if you can't see, don't pass. Roundabouts can cause problems for heavy vehicles, with cars not allowing for the fact that the truck may need to use all of the road. The do not overtake turning vehicle sign applies, but the truck is not racing you for the roundabout, he's just trying to keep moving and lessen the delay for all traffic. If he has to stop, all three roads may have to wait for him. Australia's road transport industry is one of the most cost efficient in the world, and every one of us benefit from that. Everything that you use, from your breakfast and the furniture and the fuel for your car, are carried in trucks at some time or other. All we'd like you to do is think of the time spent away from home and on the road by Australia's truckies, and share the road safely. Thank you and safe travelling.